Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Rob Motive JT. You know, I've been thinking lately, because I'm big into a nice throaty kind of sound in all my vehicles, do you really need to put an aftermarket exhaust to get better sound or more sound? Better is up to the ears of the individual, I guess, but to get more sound out of the Jeep Gladiator? And the answer is no. Don't put an aftermarket exhaust on the Jeep Gladiator. Do this instead. And we're going to go for a ride. I'm going to let you hear it here in just a little bit. But what I'm talking about is the cold air intake, specifically the Air Raid cold air intake. And I'm not sponsored by these people. I am not financially compensated in any way. I bring this to you because I have experience with it. I've had it in two Jeep Gladiators, actually three Jeep Gladiators. It's done the same in every one. So it's not like I just got lucky and it was a fluke. What it is just a simple cold air intake, bolts on right here with the old clamps onto your throttle body. You plug in the little vacuum hose here. You plug in the MAF sensor here. And by the way, you may notice some green markings on there. I did that myself when I put it on because I wanted to make sure I got it oriented properly. This is very important. I would say, unless you forget to put the vacuum hose on, don't know how you could, but this is the biggest problem that people have when they do cold air intakes. They don't put this on right. It's not oriented right inside the tube, so it can't pick up the flow of air going in. You got to make sure you get that right. You can get check engine lights, have other problems. Very important that you do that right. And don't damage it when you're messing with it. Otherwise, it's just a box. It's a box with one of these filters. You've probably seen many of these in them. And that's it. Pretty simple. It sucks air in here through the side, just like the OEM version did. But the design of the box, the way this thing chambers the air through, gives you a guttural kind of growly sound when you get on the gas with the Jeep Gladiator. Now, I'm not saying you got to be flooring it every time you take off, although it does sound really good when you do that too. Like I said, we're going to go for a ride. I'll demonstrate it for you. But just in normal driving, when you take off from a stoplight, a stop sign, pulling out of your driveway to go put your hours in for the man, it works really well. It gives you that nice little grumbly sound when you take off. When you're cruising down the road, everything levels out. You don't even hear it in there. So if you've had aftermarket exhausts, and I have, they can get droney after a while. You know, you're driving on a long distance trip and all you hear in the background is that mrrr, and after a while, it's not so fun to listen to. The best alternative, in my opinion. Now, I've had others. I've had other cold air intakes in here. I did not get any sound out of them. Nothing like this. And I've never gotten any sound out of any other one I've had either. I do have a new one coming for the Toyota Tacoma. It's going to be interesting to see if I get any sound out of that. Right now, I've got an S&B in there, and it's minimal, if anything. I really doubt that I get anything out of it. Now, there is one ding with the Air Raid cold air intake, and that is when you have to change or clean, depending on which version you go with, the air filter in here. You'll notice there's no top that comes off, right? You can't take the screws out like you can, say, on the S&B or the exposed versions that you see where the filter's just sitting here in the open. You have to take the whole thing off, basically. You have to go ahead and loosen the clamps here, or remove the hoses, remove the sensor, pull it off, and then it is, I believe it's fastened right over here on the side. This is kind of a pain in the arse to get to, by the way. But you have to go ahead and pull it, because the only way to get that filter out is to unscrew the cover over here. There are 4 screws, and pull it off. The hose here, the tubing rather, is plastic. It's not flexible, so it's not like you could loosen these and then kind of pull it out. That's the only ding I have against it. If you live in an area or you do a lot of off-roading, it might get dirty sooner and you'd have to hassle with that. But I have to say, due to the sound that you get out of it, it's well worth it to me. Not a big deal. Okay, we're just gonna pull away like I'm heading off to the orifice this morning. You can hear a little bit of grumble, but not too much right from there. All right, we're gonna take a turn from a stop sign and accelerate up to 30 in this case. Well, maybe 33. You can hear it a little bit. I hope the camera picks it up. This is an iPhone, so it's not some sophisticated microphone or sound system. Now we're going to take a turn. I'll be quiet. There you can hear it. You can hear the air reverberating through that box that I showed you earlier. I love the sound of it. I think it's awesome. Now we're gonna take a turn onto a 55-mile-an-hour road. We're gonna get up to speed, and then we'll just do a little bit of cruising, so you can hear what it sounds like once the sound, I guess, kind of levels out. And just from a cruising standpoint, waiting for traffic. Last one. I'll be quiet throughout. Here we go. Now you can't hear it at all. Matter of fact, I'm sure you can hear the wind noise. After all, the Jeep Gladiator is nothing more than a big square rectangle driving down the road. So we do get wind noise, of course. But you could hear there, it just didn't make anything after we let it level out. Now, I'm gonna kind of accelerate a little as if we were, going up to different speeds. And I'm at 50 miles an hour, so have a listen. Just gives you that nice grumble in the background. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about, V8 Mustang GT sound. You can hear it right there. I actually slowed down a little bit. But I'm not talking about some giant V8 with headers and a glass pack muffler and all that stuff on it. But it does sound subtly better, to my ears anyway, than just a straight stock setup, and much better than a droney background exhaust, especially if you're sensitive to that kind of thing. Now we're cruising at 59. And you can hear what it sounds like. You get the idea. It's the best one that I've had so far. Somebody sent me one a while back. I think it was Volant or something like that. And again, I didn't hear anything different in it. So in my opinion, you don't need an aftermarket exhaust to get good sound out of the Jeep Gladiator. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Let's make a turn here. Do you agree or not? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about the Toyota Tacoma, and Mod Driven, all about the Honda Civic. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? And while you're at it, smash the subscribe button here too. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.